Hello, and welcome to Sports by Compian. We're back! Our long absence is over, and me and my powerful co-host, Mr. Daniel Gill, are back. Daniel, how are you today, sir?
I'm great. Glad to be back. We had a lot of traveling and adventures between the two of us independently, so apologize for the time off.
We here at Sports by Compian absolutely do not apologize, but you can take Daniel's apology if you like. But anyway, moving on, we have a full spectrum, as Daniel mentioned, of sports been going on in the summer. I mean, maybe not a full spectrum, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but there's sports happening, there's people out there tackling each other still, it's going down. So, first of all, hopping on into this, we got everything from World Rugby that's happening. There's some summer taking place. The boys are getting warmed up for World Cup. There's some quality rugby being played out there, Daniel. The IFL has now officially wrapped up. They have a new crowning champion, and we will be fully here with some big coverage about it. We also have some news out of the MLR. Not to mention, Daniel, the final tournament of the D3 Daddies, and I think the fans will be happy to know that there was some improvement there. Let's hop on into it, Daniel. Going into this, we got summer rugby, as I mentioned. Oh, wait, no, starting IFL. Gotcha, didn't I, Dan? Gotcha. Anyway, Bay Area Panthers go ahead and take care of the Sioux Falls Storm. Sorry, guys, I keep on messing up your name. It is really not personal. It's just you have a stupid name. But anyway, so yeah, I imagine this was a pretty good game. You know, these were two of the highest quality game teams. You had mentioned this. The Panthers are a little bit newer, so it is cool to see them already get their first championship.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sioux Falls knocked off the top seed in the East the week prior, so
yeah.
I think we all collectively went with Bay Area, even though I did have a little bit of feeling of how much of that hot hand was going to roll over. I mean, a 10-point loss isn't bad, given some of the scores that we had seen in the weeks prior.
That one?
It was 51-41.
Okay.
So, the Bay Area kind of took care of their people the week before and won by almost, I think it was 12. So definitely, still a little bit of a similar gap, but Sioux Falls definitely with their big upset the week before, but they could definitely do something, and they kind of did. But Bay Area proved to be a little more. Funny enough, I was actually in the Bay Area during that game, but unfortunately could not find it anywhere on the TV. So I unfortunately missed it myself. It was on CBS Sports Network, which was cool to see, and not on YouTube like it normally is. And I think leagues like that definitely need coverage like that, much like MLR. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a replay on the TV either. But, like you said, Bay Area is new. Nice to see a new team win for the first time. And also just have the turnaround that Bay Area had, given the fact that I think they won a game or two the year before. So that just, an overhaul that was done to get them in the right place.
Absolutely. Plus, these guys got cool jerseys, man. It's hard to hate on the old typical black jersey, Not much to it. Hey, that championship is pretty cool. They don't spare any expense with that thing. It looks awesome.
Yeah, no, they definitely do it well. And yeah.
Good for them. Well, that is more or less how it went with the IFL. Now, guys, if you want more of this prominent, amazing coverage of these sports, you should subscribe to Sports by Compian so you can stay up to date with our videos when they drop. And Daniel here puts in a lot of work, so it'd be rude for you guys to not be up to date with when he drops a video. Anyhow.
Now, I did see, though, that they held their combine, the IFL XFL Combine, the other day.
Uh-huh.
And the MVP, the IFL MVP actually got selected by the San Antonio Brahmas. Okay. So, nice to see, waiting for final numbers and full list of people that got selected. But nice to see that relationship that we reported about the other week is appearing to be off well, and starting to go in the right direction. Also, I believe that they said their Defensive Rookie of the Year was selected. So that's good to see that some of their top players are already getting that jump.
Yeah, good for that guy. Good times. Yeah, it's cool that they're. So that's interesting that you're being drafted to another kind of semi-pro team, but I guess they're getting paid more in the XFL compared to the IFL.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, I think this goes back to like some of the debates that you, me, Corey have thrown around on whether or not we're going to eventually see like a tiered system within football. I think this is the first part. I think with AFL coming back, they could do a similar deal with the USFL to create that type of relationship. So there's a lot to unpack when it comes to what's going on. Obviously, as we mentioned before, it's a two-way street relationship. So anybody that doesn't make an XFL roster, the XFL works with the IFL to get those guys on an IFL roster, so they're still able to play, which is nice. Because then obviously they can turn around the next year and try to get back up to the XFL.
That's pretty cool. That'd be really cool to see. It's going to give a lot more guys opportunities, more guys to develop, and maybe eventually hit that stardom that maybe they just didn't have it right out of college. But hey, give them a couple years, actually making some money and being able to afford some better training and better food. Maybe they'll unlock their potential a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. Just have to wait and see where it goes, right?
Absolutely. So that's the IFL. Football is officially a wrap, but luckily the NFL has finally woken up and decided to take on the slack after all these little leagues were out there holding it down, still giving us some kind of football to talk about. The NFL's like, oh yeah, so now that you guys are done with all that, turns out we're ready for you guys to have a season. So preseason's already been kicking off. It's been out there happening. The Buccaneers already lost. Good times out here, Dan, 2023 season is in full swing.
Hey man, it's just the preseason. No reason to worry yet.
Not yet. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of time for it.
Wrapping up. Look, this is why I don't look too much into the preseason. The last two times the team's gone to winless in the season, the Browns and the Lions, they both went 4-0 in the preseason. So tell me how that makes sense.
True. I have heard that stat, and both those guys ended up winless that year. All right, well, Daniel, that is the NFL is officially happening. We are a couple weeks away from seeing some legit real football. In the meantime,
Frankie Sweat.
And we're going to see Frankie Sweat indeed. But in the meantime, we've been watching some summer rugby. We covered most of the games that have happened in July so far. I think the last one we may have missed was Scotland and Italy battling out at the end here. As you can see from the score, Scotland definitely pulled away in this game, but it's similar to how they kind of always do. They kind of stick around with a team, and then, when they need to, they put it on a little bit on these teams that they have the upper hand on. I was watching a Squidditch Rugby video of Scotland the other day and how they utilize their kicking. And he's right. Their offense is some of the most dangerous in the league. I'd be surprised if Finn Russell was even playing in this game. It's more so some of their second, third guys are getting in there. Like, I don't think Jamie Ritchie was on the field. I don't think what's that Hamish Watson. I don't think he was on the field. So, same from Italy though. You're not getting like the top tier Italy guys either. This is more so they're warming up their thirds and fourths, I guess, to see like, all right, what do we got here? Are you going to be able to make our roster for the World Cup? But anyway, this was a pretty good, pretty close game overall. We see down here, we can go down to the timeline. You got Scotland putting up a try, then a couple penalties by Italy to go ahead and take the lead, and then you kind of just see us going into the second half. Scotland kind of just more taking control of the game and finishing out strong as well. So good for them, keep their spirits high, and then they actually carried that momentum into a win over France, which is real nice to see, huh, Dan?
I don't think your stream's coming through, by the way.
Well, that would make sense. Let me go ahead and fix that for you there, Dan.
But yeah, no. Close match against France, 30-27 there.
Well, this one was 25-21 at first, and then I guess they played a doubleheader against them like a couple days later and won that and lost that one. Yeah, they lost that one, but they won the first one 25-21. You can also see Wales got that win over England I was telling you about. Big game out of Wales, man. They looked so good on offense, and honestly, they dominated this game. Like England had the lead for a little while there, and they're in the game, but overall, Wales was moving the ball and a couple of big saves. Like the English line barely tripping up that really fast wing from the Welsh. He's young. He's a young lad, 14, I believe. I don't know what his name is. Either way, he cut through the middle on a beautiful line, and the English just barely tripped him up on the edge. That was another try right there. So they absolutely dominated this game. The Welsh captain actually played really well too. It was a flanker who I don't know if I've really heard of him. Cookus, I forget. He had a big game.
Yeah, I think for as much grief as we give Wales on and off the show, it's nice to see that they are kind of picking it up. Granted, we've talked about that England just seems to be in some sort of struggle, some sort of despair. So I don't know how much it was the combo of that. But I mean, even in Six Nations last year, Wales didn't have the best overall finish. They were still looking progressively better than they had the last 2 years. So it's nice to see that they're starting to get something together.
Absolutely. No, I think they're starting to cook with something over there. Ireland completely wiped out Italy, and Italy continues to look for answers, it looks like. They did not look great in Six Nations. I think they did pull out a pretty big win, though, right? Didn't they beat Scotland?
Yeah, I don't think it was a Six Nation one. It was like one of the Summer Series games.
I thought they did have a big win against them at the end of Six Nations. Maybe it was Scotland. Maybe it was Wales they beat. It might have been Wales. They might have beat Wales. Anyway, moving on. In the rematch, England does pull out a tight win against Wales, 19-17 for that one. As we already mentioned, France pulled out a tight win against Scotland. The summer rugby is heating up, though. It's some pretty good games being played out here. Not to mention, it's not listed here for some reason, but New Zealand has just been out there absolutely slaughtering anybody who walks onto the rugby pitch with them this summer so far.
Yeah, they're cruising right through. Georgia looked good in their match over the weekend against, I believe that was Romania.
This is World Rugby, and they're only showing us the top ones. It's kind of funny, or only European. I gotta scroll down. I'm an idiot. I gotta scroll down. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, Romania just took it, or Georgia just took it to Romania, 56-6. I really need to see Italy and Georgia play each other.
So just recently, the U.S. lost to Portugal again. It serves you idiots right. You didn't qualify for the World Cup, losing to Portugal 46-20.
But then they beat Romania the week before, 31-17.
I mean, it's Romania, and honestly, giving up 17 points isn't even that.
But it's teams that are making the World Cup, and they're not.
Is Romania in the World Cup? Yeah, they are, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're in the World Cup.
Are you still seeing the stream? I think I may have messed it up.
No, it just paused.
Let me stop it, and then I'll try again. Oh, good, it went away.
No, I'm pretty sure Romania's in it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think I saw a Squidditch Rugby about them. But that's crazy to me, man. You still kept me losing 46-20 against Portugal. Like what?
Well, isn't that who they got? Isn't that who they lost to a couple of years ago to get bumped out of the World Cup?
That is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been Chile. It was Chile, but then I think they went to a round robin, and I think Portugal was in there, and they lost to Portugal there too. I think, but barely. It might have been both of them. Either way, they probably lost to both those idiots on their way out of being disqualified. But come on, man! Oh, that's disheartening. So Samoa takes it to Tonga, 34-9. New Zealand pulled out a close win against Australia. They played Australia a couple times. So the other one they played them was not that close. So good to see Australia showing a little fight there at least. Japan continues to get whipped throughout this summer series. They do the typical, I think they beat up Samoa or Tonga. But other than them, dude, they always show up with the Japanese heart, but dude, they just look way smaller out there. And it's just it shows up, dude. They miss tackles when you need to make them. It's not great for Japan so far. We'll see how they do. So U.S. pulls off a win against Romania. At least they're doing something right. Uruguay pulls off a win against Nabia? Yeah, I believe so. South Africa takes it to Argentina, but then Argentina comes back strong against Chile. Or is that it seems like the B team of Argentina or something? You see that X and B next to it?
Yeah. The 15, yeah.
Interesting. So, and then Tonga rallies against Canada and fucking destroys them. Poor little Canada. Canada's got a rematch against them. Good luck. Both of them are in the Tonga stadiums, so yeah, it's not great for you boys. And then Romania got whipped by Georgia. Jeez. Not looking great here for Romania in the summer series. We already talked enough about
they're in Pool B, so they're going to have their hands full because in their division or in their pool for the World Cup is South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, and Tonga with Romania. So, tall task there.
Yeah, good luck. And then Nebia gets a win against Chile. So Chile goes 0-2 over the last couple of days. We got some more coming up on Monday, which is actually tomorrow. Look at that. We got some games tomorrow. So we got quite a few games tomorrow. The U.S. get the chance to pull their shit together. It's not going to be an easy game against Georgia, but it'd be pretty sweet if they somehow found a way to win that, Dan, don't you think? Just put that on the calendar.
Yeah.
Maybe we could try to live stream that or something.
Yeah, on the 19th, maybe.
Well, tomorrow.
No, it's the 19th.
No, Monday, August 14th.
That's the Canada match.
Oh, you're right.
At the top of the
I'm sorry. I thought they were all in the same one. Yeah, you're right. So that's like way off.
No, it's weird Saturday. Working out.
Huh. With it being a Saturday, I bet we could get the boys together to watch that or something. See, anyway,
Sure.
that's for a whole nother discussion. But yeah, so there's more rugby coming up, man. We're gonna see France and Fiji. That should be good. So some of the Pacific teams are gonna mix up now. That's cool. We're gonna see South Africa and Wales, Georgia and Scotland. That should be good. Oh, and here we go. Japan and Italy. That's gonna be a pretty good one too. Actually,
that should be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Romania and Italy. Hopefully, Italy can pull that one off. And then England, Fiji. Yeah, there's some really good games coming up here. This is gonna be fun. South Africa and New Zealand. That's a rematch because I believe they've already played this summer so far. Argentina and Spain. Spain, a lot of people were saying should have qualified for the World Cup, but because of some shenanigans, they didn't. But, they feel like they were robbed. So here's a chance to prove it against Argentina. And then Chile gets a rematch against Argentina, too. So hopefully they fare a little bit better this next time. But yeah, some pretty good games coming up. I think that's about all we got to say about World Rugby, Dan. Do you have anything else you would like to say or add to the conversation about it?
No, I mean, just would love to see the U.S. take those next steps. I know we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
But if they can win these matches against people that they generally contend against to get in, and they can at least win them, it sets the right tone. Obviously, we don't want to go pool playing out, but at this point, we just need to get to the pool play, unfortunately.
And man, you gotta freaking not get beat 46-20. Play some defense, boys. What is going on?
But hey, I don't know if you heard, your rugby dues are going up.
I did hear about that. I did hear about that. Before we get to all that, real quick, our non-sponsor sponsor of the day is Azer. There we go. Azer monitors.
Good old Azer.
Good old Azer, man. Quality monitors for a reasonable price. And they will set you up and they will last. And you know what, dude? Here at Sports by Compian, that's what we're going to be using to record our shit. Or, show you our stuff in general. So, Azer monitors, man. Round. Non-sponsor sponsor of Sports by Compian. Anyway, so yeah. Going into this, before we go on to the Atlanta moving, the D3 Daddies went ahead and wrapped up our season, Daniel, at Memorial 10. Now, this is a high-quality rugby tournament. And by that, I mean that there's just a bunch of teams that are at super high level and probably, I don't know. Anyway, these guys are all like D2, D1 teams, it felt like. There was obviously some shitty teams, but those are a lot of high-quality ones, too. So the D3 Daddies get put into a pool with Fox Valley, East Dubuque, and Oshkosh, who had beat us previously at Pigfest. So we hop in there against Fox Valley. Their captain rolls up to me. He's like, I got 8 guys. I'm like, cool, dude, you're beat. But anyway, he found some other people. So they rolled up there with some guys. But we had quite the army. So this was the strongest showing of the Ravens so far for D3 Daddy. So I think there was no coincidence that, I'll get to it at the end of the story, but 6 confirmed Ravens, all showed up here. We had a lot of the boys with us. Moving into the games, we had a bunch of the Fox City guys because for once they didn't put in a team. So they just sent a bunch of their guys who weren't doing stuff, and we got some playmakers from them, dude. Shout out to the Fox City Gargoyles. There's some ballers over there. Even though it's in the animated appearance, it's a very far drive for them, so most of them bailed, but there was 2 of them that showed up and did their thing. And then we just found a bunch of random horrors, which also one of the options was you could show up at this tournament and rent. There was Wisconsin Rugby Club, the team that we had beat actually at home in our last game, no big deal. But anyway, they were the ones hosting this tournament, and they said that, hey, we're not going to put in a team. If you want to rent one of our players, it's $10 for the day. So I was like, you know what, dude, we could probably always use some players. So at the beginning of the day, I go up, I'm like, yeah, I need someone good at offense. So like, we got a little bowling ball for you. And dude, this kid was fucking good. He was a little bowling ball. We ended up keeping him at hooker for the whole day because we were super short on forwards, but we pretty much just left him in there for like most of the game. Most games, most of the time, he was just in there. We'd be like substituting everybody else out. We'd be like, keep Anthony in. He's fine. He was really good. So anyway, that combination of Ravens, Fox City Gargoyles, and a sprinkle of other random players, we were pretty fucking good, Dan. Fox Valley in our first game played us close at first. I think they even tied it up early on, but then as the Gill over at Fox Valley put it, we just let Caleb get out of control. And that is true. Mr. Caleb Nelson kind of went off a couple times, and he wasn't alone. There was a lot of other playmakers through the D3 Daddies, and we sort of rolled through Fox Valley. I didn't look up, but I think it was like 3-1 or 4-1. Either way, not a bad day not a bad first win. Going into game 2, we were playing against East Dubuque, and let me say, this was a really good team. They came out fast, very good players. We back and forth with them. They went up by quite a few. We had a chance to catch them, and it sort of just fell apart on us, and they ultimately pulled off a very close victory against us. Put us in a tough position. We thought we weren't going to be able to move on for the day out of pool play. But then, in one of the most amusing situations, dude, so like me and Mike wander over to where our next game is going to be, and East Dubuque is about to play Fox Valley. Both these teams in our pool, right? So Fox Valley is kind of down and out for the day, but they're looking for horse. And so was East Dubuque. So we were there talking to East Dubuque first, and they're like, dude, we could use some players. If you guys want to play with us, we would take you. Me and Mike, like, sure, I mean, why not, whatever. So we're thinking about it. And then Mike wanders off, and he goes and talks to Fox Valley, which we have a lot of friends in Fox Valley. So Taylor Lance, and he's like, hey, we could really use some horse. And it clicks in Mike's brain. He's like, if we help Fox Valley beat East Dubuque, and then the D3 Daddies destroy Oshkosh, we can move on in pool play. So he comes back to me and tells me this brilliant plan right in front of East Dubuque. And like their captain's looking at me while I'm receiving this information from Mike. And he's like, yeah, sorry, dude, we're going to fuck you over. And I look at him, I'm like, yeah, no, he's absolutely right. That's what we're going to do. And dude, like Caleb, Mike, a bunch of our studs went over there and played for them. Mike made some critical tackles for Fox Valley. Caleb went off. A couple of our playmakers went off of them. Fox Valley pulls off the win against East Dubuque. Very close game, but they do pull off the win. And that puts us in a position where if we put it on Oshkosh, we can advance. And I'm like, I mean, this seems like a tall order. These guys beat us at Pigfest. Nah, Dan. They were not ready for us, dude. We put up like fucking 5 or 6, 7. They didn't score. It was like 5 or 6 or 7-0. Like, I didn't exactly count it. But yeah, we put it on them good enough. The D3 Daddies moved on for the first time in D3 Daddy history. We moved out of pool play, baby. Rolled into the playoffs, and we ran into a buzzsaw. I'm not gonna lie. This team was fucking loaded, dude. Holy shit, they had studs everywhere. It was like so many of the Wisconsin Rugby Club guys were all on that team, and like they were just fast, dude, and they were like, they started immediately, like, Caleb and me started talking shit with some of them, so that got them extra riled up, and Caleb and this one kid were, like, going at it the whole time, and frankly, he crawled up into Caleb's little head by the end of the day, and, like, had Caleb's number, you know? So, all that said, they kind of put it on us a little bit early. It was a little bit close and back and forth, and they kind of went up by a couple tries. We came back again, dude, based on a beautiful play by Buzzwinger out on the wing trying to throw a pass. It bats the other guy's. I wasn't there. It bats the other guy's hand back to Buzzwinger's hand somehow, and he just fucking took it down the sideline, dude. Against very, very fast players, Dan. This guy fucking beat them to that corner and put us within a try, less than a try. But unfortunately, we kick it to them, and they just kicked it out of bounds, and that was that. But we brought it back within a very, very good team. We were very close to advancing. Dude, I hadn't missed a tackle all summer. And they had this fucking beast of a guy playing prop for them. Holy shit, dude. This kid was huge. And he had, like, just this meaty arm, and I'm like going up, running at him on a kickoff, and he just fucking hits me and sends me, dude. Like, I didn't lose my footing, and I tracked him down and helped a couple other guys, and we all tackled him, but yeah, I had to miss a tackle all summer until I saw that big boy.
I thought we made it out of pool play in that Fox Valley one, like one of the first T3 Daddy ones we did.
From the city? I don't think so. No, I don't think we did.
Or did that one not even have pool play? Was that just straight bracket play?
It might have just been straight bracket play, but we didn't make it out.
Because I remember we made it out of the first two rounds.
Maybe we did. I think we did play like drinking park. You're right. Well, you're ruining everything.
We beat that. Huh?
You're ruining everything. Let's just pretend like this conversation never happened, because I don't remember it well enough, and you don't remember it well enough. So let's just pretend like this was the first time in Daddy's history we moved on.
I remember we beat the D2 team, and they got pissed off.
Yeah, we beat that Southside Irish.
Yeah, they got pissed.
Yeah, they weren't happy about it. That's right, I do remember that. But then we still didn't advance. I think it's because we had lost earlier in the day to somebody. I do remember going like 2-1. It was like 2-1.
To Fox Valley.
Right. We did lose to Fox Valley. Yeah.
Fox Valley had
Fox Valley
advanced and the blue team.
So then Fox Valley advanced.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
So there you go. So this was the first time in D3 Daddy's history. But yeah, great way to wrap up the tour. Now we all go our separate ways, and the Northwest Indiana boys, the next time we're seeing them, we'll be tackling them. And probably the same for the Gaugrels. We may see some of them on some other things, but likely we'll be seeing them again in the spring to tackle them. So, good times. Tackle your boys extra hard, right?
Yeah. So that's how you make friendships.
That's how you make a good friendship, dude. All right, Dan, what do you have to say about this whole situation with Atlanta rugby?
So right now, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of information as the league is either getting it together, Atlanta themselves is getting it together, but I believe a couple days prior to this announcement, I had texted you about this rumor I had read, and it was only later confirmed a couple days later that Rugby ATL has been acquired by a new ownership group, and they will relocate. The announcement of the new ownership group is expected soon. This was made on August 2nd. So we're sitting here, almost 2 weeks, about to be 2 weeks out, and we haven't heard anything. I haven't read any rumors to where they might move to, whether it's a different part of Georgia or to a completely different state. I would like to think that they're going to stay on the East because you got to keep the conferences balanced. Mm-hmm. But, I feel like Atlanta's been to the playoffs. They've had 4 seasons. They would be going into their 5th. They've gone to the playoffs 2 of their 4 years. So to some degree, it comes as a surprise. Granted, they do share their facility with 2 other rugby teams. But the fact that 3 rugby teams are playing in Atlanta shows that there is interest there. Yeah. So that's why it sucks. Like they do have a great facility. From what I've seen from watching the games and stuff like that. So. And their attendance seemed to be doing well. So really kind of curious as this whole story unfolds. What was the driving force behind the move, the sale, whatever it might be. Because as we talked about in one of our other videos, shameless plug, expansion of the MLR, to a degree, this isn't what you want to see when you're trying to grow the league, especially because you just had the Hounds come in last year. You had Miami coming in. And it's on those who are on the heels of losing 2 teams, the season prior. So it kind of sucks to see a team relocating already. But, we can only sit here and play hypotheticals. Throw a million and one theories out there.
We got to find out more information first.
Yeah. What's going on, but...
That's interesting, though.
Yeah, so I'm just curious to kind of see what the driving force about it is. Comical to read what people are writing about where they should go. It's funny. A lot of them are saying West Coast cities. But again, it comes back to you have to keep the conferences balanced. So, for the sake of the state, I hope, maybe they move to Savannah or a different city within Georgia so they at least stay in Georgia. Maybe retain some of that base. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. And I mean, it's kind of a bummer to see, though, because I kind of did like Rugby Atlanta. I mean, they were just in the MLR final, 2019, 2020?
Yeah, I don't know if they made the finals, but
I think they
I know
did.
they lost in the conference once.
Maybe you're right.
Did they make it to the
I thought they were in the finals
but
pretty recently.
regardless, like they've been
Regardless, like they've been a staple of the league for a little while now. They've been good. I mean, last year was a little tough for them, but overall they're pretty good. So I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I guess it makes sense though. If you're coming in as a new owner, you're like, let me buy one of these teams that's not like terrible, and kind of build from there.
yeah, but I mean, like I'm okay with that, right? But it's like what's the drive behind the move? Because you can buy a team because you're doing well and keep them there, right?
Well, they must have an idea of why they want to move it.
Yeah, no, like, and again, that just goes back to like I'm confused. Yeah, sorry, 2021 is when they lost in the finals.
Okay. To Seattle, right?
No, to
The Guillotines.
LA Galantis.
Which I just was wondering. I wonder if that's where they're headed, to LA. Like you said, you got to keep the balance going, but I mean, LA is up for grabs still.
It is, and I know there's like high debate on ever if they want to go back there right now, but who knows?
Who knows? Well, anyway, Dan, that is an interesting update. We will keep it in our minds and in our hearts as we continue to provide you excellent sports coverage, which is why you should be subscribed and, hitting the bell, or don't, whatever. But like the video, so Dan feels like we did something today. And, yeah, you people have been awesome. Sports by Compian. Hold on, I'm sorry. Daniel, do you have any final words or thoughts you'd like to share with the people of Sports by Compian?
Get ready to watch World Cup rugby.
Yeah, we've been saying that for a while, but it's just because you really should be fucking excited about this. It's going to be one of the best World Cups ever, and it's because Sports by Compian is here to give you the coverage about it. That's why, right, Dan?
Absolutely.
And the teams are really, really competitive right now. Like, I didn't pay attention in 2019, I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know what was going on. But if I would have known what was going on, I probably would have watched it. But yeah, it just seems like all the teams are very, very close right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting times out there, people. Keep trucking through whatever's going on. Just keep working out and staying in shape because it will help you with all the other problems in life. Sports by Compian.